skippers here for the first skips of the season on Bloodbrook Lagoon. Beautiful, calm morning, cool, misty, overcast, pretty much optimal conditions. Got a bucket of rocks, some pretty special ones in here. I'll show some clips of the making of those shortly. But yeah, do some tests, practice with some old classics, and get some skips in. Oh, it's been a while. Oh, it has been a while. Alright, we're going to try some different stuff. These are plaster of Paris, very low density. We have to work on what the throw is going to feel like for those, so we'll see how it goes. Let's toss a couple of these. I barely threw that. It's like they're floating. Wow. They're totally flying under ground effect, way more than regular rocks because they're lighter. So we'll see how distance goes. So that's the surface finish is beautiful. Oh. Amazing. This one's got a really domed top. They're flying so well. Oh, that's incredible. I want to show what we've got here, skips, because these are some pretty amazing rocks. All right, so here's what we've got. So these are new plaster Paris rocks. Really light, maybe, I don't know, 60% of the weight of my regular high density stones. So very different throw. You can see how they're actually like fully underground effect and just floating across the water, barely touching it. So very different throw. Plaster Paris is what the current distance record is. 145 meters from Alex Lewis skipping one of these last year. So pretty amazing material to test out. What I tried next was I've done high density plaster. This is plaster mixed with iron sand, almost double the weight of that previous rock. Way more consistent with what I've seen before, but an incredibly smooth surface finish. Like, perfectly smooth. So, haven't skipped these yet, we'll see how they go. Based on what I just saw with the plaster rocks, these are gonna go amazingly well. And then comparing to the standard orange triangles, high density cement, pretty reasonable. Surface finish is pretty mediocre. It's hard to get it good with cement if you're not super patient with the manufacturing process. And these are all a little bit beat up because they've been skipped a lot, so they're a little trickier to handle. And then this is where my hopes are. So when Alex Lewis skipped that stone last year, it was one of this style, circular with a finger notch. So this is plaster with some iron sand mixed into it, so it's a higher density. I'm gonna do some tests with these, see how they go. And yeah, pretty hopeful based on what we just saw with the plaster Paris rocks. Let's keep skipping. All right, I'm gonna start with the high density iron sand plaster rocks. It's a lot of curve. I think these are quite sticky. All right, I'm gonna try something really weird. This one's got a convex top, but I'm gonna skip it upside down. See what it does. That's pretty good. Sinking in the mud here. All right, time for the round ones. Let's see how these feel. A little lighter. Start with a gentle throw. Okay, let's try that again. Add. Licking the spin on these is very different from what I'm used to. I think they're a little sticky too from that gloss smooth bottom. They're like really cutting to the side, which usually means they're sticking or I'm not spinning them enough. Gotta work on my throat. That's good. One more lightweight plaster. Such a different feel to alternate between these weights of rocks after like dialing in my throw with the same stone for so long. So let's go back to these, finish off, and then do some collecting and see how far we went. Okay, that's pretty good. I don't know about these new stones. There we go. Good one. All right, let's collect. All right, so best rocks of the day. One of the new round ones, and a pretty classic old triangle. So not super surprising. Pretty decent. I don't know, maybe 100, 110 meters. Nothing amazing, but for skips, not bad. I think I might throw a few more. I'll check the time, and then we'll get going. That was a high density plaster rock. I'm liking these. good one. That was the domed one with the dome on the top. I think it skips a little better. Oh, that's good. I think I know what's going on here. The rocks are actually heavier because they absorbed water sitting there while I went and collected them. I'm going to have to do some measurements and see how much that actually changes, but I'm betting it's like 10 or 20%, so that's got to be the spot on weight going for it. Oh, so good. Oh man, I need to put out some markers soon. That's fantastic. Wow, look at that curve! Probably out of frame. The glassy bottoms really stick and pull. Round one, out of there. The round ones curve more because they're bouncing less and they're just rolling along the surface. Throw some lightweight plaster stones, some gentle snaps. They just float along. Such a different feel. Doesn't want to come down. It's a lot more of a place than the far tops. I hope that's not off the drop off. It's really hard to tell what's an optimized stone versus what I've practiced for, because the triangles still go really good. I've skipped these things like thousands of times, so I know the feel. Those new ones are looking pretty sweet. Alright, I think it's time to collect and get going. Alright, let's collect some rocks. I can bring the camera along. We'll see how this looks, because it's probably about time to get going. It's very convenient having such an optimal skipping location here, where we can retrieve, isolated and calm. There's no boats making waves in here other than, you know, me dragging a canoe around. I think having some little markers to guide where I go would be useful, so I could see, you know, relative to some little sticks or buoys or something where the rocks are sitting. To come out with that next time. Ground's really soft. You just put some stakes in a few key spots, or just sticks, so they're less obtrusive. If I was skipping in a similar spot and I got to the side of that island there, that would be close to the previous record I'd hit. So, still got a fair few meters to gain back before I can even get close to the new artificial stone records. So we'll see how we do. Perfect triangle, probably the furthest one. Let's do a final, a few more over here. There's one. Oh, that's getting pretty good. Oh, there are rocks further than I expected. Those were some excellent throws in the second round. So we've got a plaster triangle, high density up here. We're close to the end of the island. I'll have to do a remeasure from roughly where I was today. See how it compares. One more. So rock here. That's the island. Not bad. All right. Been a good morning here. Back to good skip. It's good to test the new rocks. Gonna have to make a lot more of those, but it's a good quiver right now for a comfortable throwing session. Beautiful foggy morning out here on the Connecticut. Gonna paddle out through the railroad bridge and head off home. But yeah, hopefully this is just the start of a big season. Ready to skip some more rocks and get tinkering, designing, testing. I'm gonna hop in before it gets any deeper here. I'll skip you next time. Slippery.